What is your accidentally caught your spouse cheating horror story? Dating this girl a few years back, and I became really good friends with her brother just because he appreciated my help during a difficult time for their family. Their father had abruptly passed away. 2 years into the relationship, the brother contacts me and asks to meet up for coffee and a serious conversation. Apparently he caught his own sister with another guy, mutual friend of ours, and this had been going on for like a year. As soon as he found out, I was told. Broke up with her. Still friends with her brother. Go figure. Edit if I was I'd date him. Everyone happy. Haha. Thanks for all the love. That guy's a bro. Yeah, that's how they met. How I met your brother. Came back from a trip 4 hours early. Wife was supposed to be at work still. Opened the front door to see her sit on the couch making out with a coworker. He ran out the door. She ran into a bathroom and locked the door. Sat on that couch for about an hour because I couldn't think what else to do. Finally just up and left so she could come out of the bathroom and put a shirt on. I hope you left really quietly so she still thinks you're sitting there. Some say she's still topless in that bathroom to this day. Day 135. Finally finished the last bar of soap. Just urinal cakes left to eat. Had been on the road for work. Was supposed to be 10 days. Got to go home a day early. Had a friend pick me up at the airport to surprise my wife and 2 children. 2 years and 8 months. Walked into my ex and her coffee friend snuggling on the couch with my kids in the same room. I was livid. Of course she denied everything. We split up weeks later. Edit added years after 2 to avoid all the age questions. Cheating is awful, but getting your kids to lie for you or meet this other person is next level, deserve to burn in hell. Edit. I know these kids weren't old enough to lie, but this is not the only time a parent has brought their kid along during an affair, so it was a more general statement. My kids have no relationship with her anymore. They are 18 and 16. 2 weeks ago I sent a message to a mutual friend asking to borrow a router. He didn't answer, but no worries, he lives nearby. I'll just stop by and grab it. I pull up to his house and start heading down the driveway. He has a long country driveway, so it's a few seconds before I see my car. I drive a company vehicle during the day. Already there, my heart began to sink, but they are friends and business partners. Maybe it's nothing. I got out of my van and look up to see the other guy shirtless in his bedroom. At this point my heart is down on my stomach and I'm visibly shaking. I go in and immediately head upstairs. He is alone, now clothed. I say I came to borrow the router. Also, have you seen my wife? The car is here. He then proceeds to give the worst improv I've ever heard. No, she was here at some point though. Whatever, I knew she was there, I just wanted him to admit it. I go down, take the router, and head back to the van where I finally encounter my wife topless trying to sneak around the side of his house. And now here I am. Edit. To all those wondering, I kept the router. Edit 2. It's a plunge router for woodworking. Her phone got a text from her friend, who was in the kitchen with her, so I assumed one of them sent it to me. Opened her phone to see a PP. Her friend doesn't have a PP. Now I'm divorced and don't trust texts from friends. I caught my ex thanks to King Pokemon Go of all things. She mentioned Pokemon Go was using lots of her data. I explained that in her settings she could see how much data an app was using. I proceeded to show her and prove to her it wasn't by pointing out Tinder was using much more data. It was sad, but also funny the way it went down. I've posted this before, but it's still funny to remember. Found my wife's notebook. Written on the first page was a 10-step plan detailing how she was going to leave me for another guy. I turned it into one step. Turned it into one step sigline though. Also, this is now my top comment by a country mile. I got a new job with a cell phone company. Free phone for me, 15 a month for her. First bill comes in with call detail. She was on the phone an hour a day with this number while supposedly at work. I call. Dude answers. I hang up. I ask her. She lies and said it was a gal pal of hers. I told her I know she is lying and call it again. Dude answers. F you Brooke. One night she told me not to come over because she wasn't feeling well. But then my sister wanted this hoodie back that she'd borrowed, so I thought I'd stop over with chocolate and a Slurpee. I knocked on her door. She came to the upstairs window with only a blanket wrapped around her. I thought I told you not to come over. My sister needs a hoodie. Who's that? Says some male voice from her bedroom. Ah, I see how it is. I'll talk to you tomorrow, she says. Probably not. Have a good one. Wait, what about your sister's hoodie? Yes. She threw it out the window to me. It was a cold walk home. At least your sister got her hoodie back. After a week visiting friends in London, England, I flew back to Canada. I was supposed to do something with another group of friends when I got back, but plans fell through, so I drove the 4 hours home to the apartment we shared. She expected me home at 6 p.m. I'd been up for 30 straight hours and got home at 6 a.m., wanting nothing more than to fall into bed. There was an extra set of feet attached to some hole when I walked in. Same thing happened to me, but I'm a lady. It just blindsided me, and even though I know it's not my fault, it really fucked me up. It was years ago, but we'd been together a while, and it's a big leap to invest in someone again when their true colors might take 6 years to emerge while you were cheerfully building a life together and thinking they were solid. I hate him less for the betrayal than for how it changed me. I kind of lost my religion, the unquestioned belief that people are who they say they are. I miss the person I was. She expected good things and was usually right. Yeah dude here, but mine destroyed me. Worked my ass off, built an amazing life for me, my wife, and our 2 little boys. Beautiful life, white picket fences, and all that. Then had to deal with 2 years of catching her cheating, trying to rebuild our family, and it happening again. I've been so jaded and just a totally different human being, from naive to the most skeptical person you'd ever meet. I've been single for 12 years now, and myself and everyone I know just assumed I'd be a bachelor till the day I died. And I was 100% on board with it. I'd never trust someone ever again. Just got engaged this spring. Shocked everyone including myself. But I met the one person who was so amazing that I was more afraid of a life without her than commitment. So it can happen. Keep that in mind. Girlfriend ran over her phone by accident and destroyed the screen. Asked me to back up all her stuff and transfer it to her new Pixel. Use backup tool that captures all sorts of dirty messages and another guy. Either she's stupid or she wanted to get caught. Well, she ran over her phone. We had a linked Apple account. We both had the Find My iPhone app. Figured out what all the late nights at work really were. I work for a major cell phone carrier, and the amount of times people come in asking to get their Apple ID unlinked because they saw something they didn't want to see from a sibling or kid usually is honestly hilarious. Edit. Spelling. My favorite one was about a year ago and was thankfully PG, so I can tell customers all the time as a reason to not share an Apple ID with your kids. Seriously, set up a custodial account or an Apple ID family so you guys can still share apps or whatever. Anyway, a dad comes in and says, please, you have to help me. Me and my 16-year-old daughter's phones are connected somehow, and her boyfriend keeps FaceTiming me. I'm afraid that I'm going to answer by accident, and he won't be wearing a shirt, or worse. Happened to me back in high school. My family had a shared account, and somehow when I got a new iPhone, FaceTime would go through to my dad's phone. Felt bad for my friends who would FaceTime my dad past 10 p.m. when he's sleeping and grumpy. One of my former co-workers loaded in a SD card with a scanned project file on it. He put it into the conference room PC. We were treated to nics of his one other guy. We were just stunned. This was in a senior budgetary meeting with the outside accountants and auditors, and he was sitting right there, and we were looking at his wife and another guy going at it. I reached over and shut the projector off. Nobody said anything. He got up and walked out and drove off in his car, left his phone and laptop sitting on the table. He wound up driving to his parents' house 3 states away. He was gone for a week. Jesus, that's crazy. Was the company cool and let him keep his job while being gone for a week? Yeah, he had vacation and flex time and all that. It was not a big deal. He was a production scheduler and he was there to answer questions, but we got by without him. Walked in on my girlfriend while she was having sex with another guy. What are you doing here? She says. You gave me a key, remember? I ended up not working today and wanted to surprise you. 15 years later she reaches out, leaves me a message that she'd like to talk. I figure she's doing some 12-step thing or something and wants to make amends. Nope. She wanted to try and sell me on Amway. She wanted to try and sell me on Amway. That's worse than getting cheated on. Okay, so my ex was having computer problems and wanted to go on Facebook on my phone. No problem, but I made her use Safari so I wouldn't have to log out of the app. Anyways, couple days later I'm closing tabs on my phone and there is her Facebook still open. Well, I see she's chatting with her ex John. Turns out they're in our bed and we're gonna go out on a date soon. So in the messages he asked she wear something nice in the messages. I'm not the jealous type, so I leave it for a couple days. Couple days go by and she wants to have we are kissing and getting hot and heavy. I whisper in her ear, don't forget John wants you to wear something nice on your date Saturday. The look of horror in her eyes was magical. I put my shirt on and start walking out as she's crying and saying she's sorry. Don't forget John wants you to wear something nice on your date Saturday. SAVAGE.